declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
For the coronavirus.
Learning more and more information about COVID-19 every day.
According to the World Health Organization, on December 23, 2019, Wuhan, China, had reported a case of pneumonia with an unknown cause. Some think they may have known about this case since November, or they had a similar case back in November. By January 4th, 2020, more similar types of cases were reported. On January 13th, the first case outside of Wuhan was reported in Thailand. And on the 21st, the World Health Organization decided to make a field visit to Wuhan. And within the next 2 days, they held an emergency meeting to discuss a possible outbreak, seeing as how Thailand, Korea, Japan, and Singapore have now reported cases. On the 28th, they held another meeting to discuss containment. By January 30th, the World Health Organization declared this a public health emergency of international concern. By February 11th, we had a name for this virus, and it was COVID-19. And on March 7th, 100 countries had confirmed cases, bringing the world's total to 100,000 cases. It wasn't until March 11th, 2020, that the World Health Organization finally declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. And by the 13th, 5,000 people had lost their lives to this virus, and Europe became the epicenter of this pandemic. When people started to pay more attention to this, no one really knew what to do or what was really going on. And then New Jersey made this announcement.
All schools in New Jersey, public, private, parochial, from pre-K through grade 12, and all colleges and universities will close effective Wednesday, March 18th until such time as deemed by health officials to be safe for classes to resume. Additionally, starting tonight, I am strongly discouraging all non-essential and non-emergency travel in New Jersey between the hours of 8 p.m. and 5 a.m.
So, there's a lot to unpack here, and with the help of my family, we're going to share our experience.
My name is Kareem West.
Hi, my name is Ty.
Hi, my name is Tyler.
Hello.
I think my brother put it best when he said this.
Every time you leave, it's like you gotta come home and you gotta do the ritual, wash your hands, take a shower, burn your clothes.
The CDC recommends covering your coughs and sneezes, which you should be doing anyways. They also recommend washing your hands with soap and water frequently for at least 20 seconds. They also want you to thoroughly clean and disinfect all surfaces. And if you have to go out, wear face masks and gloves. But
everybody's still out, so it's like you're wearing gloves and masks. Just stop going out. Just stop. This is why this is spreading. Just stay inside. You know, you want to be with friends, but you can't have them over because, you know, social distancing.
Social distancing. Social distancing. Social distancing.
Yeah, everyone's favorite word to say, but not follow. So what is social distancing? Basically, it's keeping 6 feet away from another person and trying to avoid groups and any areas where crowds may form. Anyways, let's get into Ms. Coronavirus herself. So the symptoms range from mild to severe illness and can appear 2 to 14 days after exposure to the virus. So some things to look out for are fever, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, chills, repeated shakes with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, and new loss of taste or smell. And you should seek medical attention for things like trouble breathing, persistent pain, or pressure in the chest.
One of the things that make this virus so deadly is that there's no real cure for it yet.
This is true. In the early stages, there wasn't much anyone could do. Even now, there's still not much that they can do. But in such a perplexing time, some people thought it was okay to take advantage of people's confusion and put out false claims. The FDA tried to get a handle on it as best as they could, and it also made way for more promising claims.
You know, like I said, some people think, it's nothing. It's, everything's overrated. Everything is blown out of proportion. More people die from the regular flu. Yeah, but there's more vaccines for the regular flu.
According to Johns Hopkins, here are the differences between COVID-19 and the flu. To start, COVID-19 is caused by one virus, while the flu is caused by any of several different types and strains of influenza viruses. For medications, tests are currently being done for COVID-19, while the flu already has antiviral medications to help address symptoms and sometimes shorten the illness. COVID-19 has no vaccine available, while the flu has a vaccine available. Now it's time to address work culture. I work for Amazon as a warehouse worker, so I'm considered an essential worker, and they've implemented a lot of new ways to try and keep their employees safe during this time. One of these changes is staggered shift start times, which basically means, depending on your last name, that determines when you start and end your shift. They also provide and require face masks to be worn in all buildings, and before each shift, they do temperature checks. And to kind of help everybody out, they've opened up a lot of jobs and onboarded a whole bunch of new hires. And everyone's favorite, the $2 pay increase with double pay for every hour worked overtime. So, what happens to the employees who get the virus? Those employees get paid leave. They also contact anyone who may have come in contact with those employees and give them sick time. And for anyone who thinks they may have the virus or has a fever, you're not allowed to come back until you are fever-free for 72 hours without medication, and that is also paid time. And for the rest of us, we get a text every single time. Now, for the rest of my family,
so I work for UPS as a part of the hazmat team, and for the coronavirus, they haven't done anything until last week when they gave us these masks, which is all they've done after 2 people got sick in our facility, which were 2 head managers. So masks. That's it.
I work for a utility company and we're considered essential workers, so I still report to work. But as you can see, the parking lot is empty. This parking lot is usually filled up to the brim, but due to social distancing, we all report to different locations during the day now.
I'm a gym teacher. I'm supposed to be working from my computer from 8 to 11. I'm getting emails all day long, and here I am complaining about emails. Where are my priorities? But it's annoying because she's like, dude, my day is done work-wise. I gotta still answer emails. There's other people who don't have a job. It's like, you're complaining about some emails? You still get paid. Puts everything into perspective when you think about it like that. I do Taekwondo. All of my friends own martial arts schools. They're all closed down. They all tried at first to keep the businesses open, but that got shut down in about 2-3 days. So I've had a friend of mine that was laid off to use a mechanic, like Audi or something, or Volkswagen, I can't remember. He's been laid off indefinitely until this whole thing starts back, so. After
this break, I'm going to talk about something interesting.
The thing that's interesting about a high-rev V8 engine, every 1,000 RPMs, it changes in tone and octave. And it's almost like a symphony going on. It's an incredible experience. You don't know until you drive it, and you really don't know until you drive it around a racetrack, especially a supercar. You also have the security of an all-wheel drive system, and that means if it's inclement weather or just how the car approaches its limits. Very easy to understand, to decipher, and therefore control.
So, I have to acknowledge the toilet paper crisis, because yes, it happened again.
Amidst the recent preoccupation with the fuel shortage and the meat shortage, a new gap has appeared in the staples of the American household, the toilet paper shortage.
Of all the shortages we have, there's a gasoline shortage. You know what else is disappearing from the supermarket shelves? Toilet paper.
Well, you don't see as much hoard buying anymore, but 2 items you still can't find: disinfecting supplies and toilet paper.
The ongoing struggle for Americans to get toilet paper.
Well, many of the shelves at supermarkets and grocery stores are restocked with the produce, the meats, but one thing you often won't find is the toilet paper.
For weeks, it was hard to find things like toilet paper, paper towels, disinfectant spray and wipes, hand sanitizer, and soaps. Now, stores have put a number limit on certain items, and they are required to only allow a certain number of people in their buildings at a time. They've also designated a certain hour during the day for the elderly to shop. Now, let's get into some numbers. As of April 22nd, 2020, there have been 776,907 confirmed cases, while there have been 37,602 deaths reported.
It's just craziness. I have never seen this ever. Every time I think like, oh, I've seen it all, this is really just a different beast altogether.
Here's another way everything is affecting people's lives that you might not really think of. The travel ban. Now that every country is on lockdown, it's affecting people. I'll let my brothers explain.
My mother-in-law was supposed to go back to Costa Rica yesterday, I believe, and basically she's stuck here indefinitely until they release the travel ban. So there's that. She's been here for the better part of 2 months, and she just was ready to go home. But you can't.
This is my fiance. We were planning on getting married this summer. Unfortunately, due to pretty much every border being closed, we've had to postpone the wedding because we're not sure when everything is going to safely open back up.
So yeah, that's a little bit of information on the coronavirus and things that have been going on so far, how everyone's being affected. The only thing I really can say is make smart choices and stay safe. Oh yeah, and that clip from the beginning, here's the rest of it. Yeah, I know. All for some high winds, but that's my town for you.
It's really surreal. It's a surreal moment, and years to come, this is going to be written about in history books.